These are my Hawaiian office Crocs, yes. Can't see it from there. My pineapple lights up though.
I can see it.
Those are the new office Crocs, Al.
We're rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome. We are rolling and we're back. So today, as you can see, I have the entire room, finally. I can speak freely, I can stretch. We're good to go. Today, we've actually got a little surprise. Today, we actually have something from the government that may be of value to you. I haven't heard much of this at all. I stumbled upon it on a Bloomberg ad recently, and I posted it, and a few people commented on it, asking about it. So now I'm here to gather and supply the information to you, the people that the government just can't be bothered to do, it appears like. So, the F.H.S.A. we're talking about. Does anyone know what that is? Al, have you heard of this?
I have no idea.
Okay, thanks. No, okay. The tax-free first home savings account. First home savings account, F.H.S.A., tax-free being the key benefit here. So what is this? This apparently was developed in last year's federal budget, and it's a new plan that will, in my opinion, trump the first-time homebuyer RRSP plan because it gives you a little bit more flexibility depending how much risk you're willing to take. And we're going to get into that with my non-solicited, non-financial advice comments coming up shortly. So what is this? This is a new plan that you can start. Prerequisites for this, I've got this all laid out in front of me and not in my head. A resident of Canada, of course. You must be 18 years of age. Of course. You must be a first-time homebuyer, which by their standards in this, which is the same as the RRSP, just for the record, not owned a home in which they have lived at any time in the past 4 years, including the calendar year of purchase. Just so you know, so if you owned 5 years ago, you now are re-upped as the kids are saying, as a first-time homebuyer yet again. So you can reclaim that, or so it would seem. So those are the prerequisites here. So what is it? It is a plan that you can start. It is a plan that will expire, which is also very interesting here, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But it is a plan to assist first-time homebuyers with purchasing a home. Now, we all know the RRSP benefit. You can use $35,000 of your RRSP savings, pull it out tax-free, and then replenish it over, I believe it's 13 years. Incrementally, you've got to start replenishing that back after 2 years. As a couple, you can each take 35, so now you've got a collective 70 to put towards that. That's great. This is a little bit different. So what this is, this will allow you to peak out at $40,000. So you can start it when you're 18. The closing of this account, let me just dive into first, is either 15 years after opening. So if you open it when you're 18 or your parents open it for you, all in your name, of course, you've got to shut it down by the time you're 33. So it expires after 15 years or if you turn 71. So you've got to open it, obviously, no later. You still on 56. When you're 56 plus 15 is 71.
I like it. I like the confidence, son.
I think. We're going to go with that. So 15 years you got it for. So maximum contribution, lifetime is $40,000. You can make incremental contributions. There is, I forget what it's called. I've got it noted here, but you can make up those proportionally year after year, and you can only contribute $8,000 a year to this plan. So you can basically get it up to its maximum $40,000 in contribution room in 5 years. Parents out there, if you've got soon to be adults, I guess they're called, 18, I would suggest what I'm about to say, opening it up for them, or young humans out there, if you're diligent with your money and you can put $8,000 aside a year for this, I think there's benefits to be had here. But if not, parents, fill those accounts, 5 years, max it out at 40. A few other details before I get into some other aspects of this here. So it's similar to an RRSP in the sense that when you make the contributions, they are tax deductible. So you're going to pull those contribution room off of your annual personal income, which your personal income tax is, of course, based off of. So some front-end tax benefit there, which is always nice. Also, when you withdraw to purchase a home, this would be a non-taxable withdrawal, like your TFSA. So you've got the best of both worlds there. You have money in your tax-free savings account, you pull it out. If there's a gain, you don't pay income tax on that money. So it's already after-tax money on a TFSA that you're putting in. So you've already had your personal income tax layer applied to that money, but when you pull it out, it's tax-free. This being a bit different, you get the tax benefit on the money going in, and you get the tax benefit on the money coming out. So that's the biggest, the first big point I think is very valid here, and why it's much more appealing than the traditional first-time homebuyer RRSP plan. Again, 8,000 annual contributions max, 40,000 lifetime contribution max. Some other details, yes, you can carry forward the unused contribution room annually. Put in 5 only last year, you've got 3,000 left. Put in 11,000 next year, so you can pull that contribution room forward, which is nice. And again, trying to get to that 40,000 as quickly as possible would be the goal here. Some other fine print here: the taxpayer must have a written agreement to buy or build a qualifying home before October 1st of the year following the year of withdrawal, and intend to occupy the qualifying home as a principal residence within 1 year after buying or building. So as usual with these plans, they're for your principal residence only. You cannot take this money and buy an investment property. So there's a little bit more flexibility here for maybe a longer close. Maybe you get into pre-sale with this, and that's why they're stipulating these kind of long close details. Another interesting aspect, which is kind of where my head went first, this cannot be used in combination or conjunction with the RRSP plan. So you've got to pick one or the other. So this plan is a better plan in addition because there's no repayment structure. Once you use the money, it's gone, and then you can close, or the plan expires after 15 years, and then you're good to go. So those are the first kind of baselines of this plan and why I think it's an upgrade on the RRSP. The other side of this plan is the RRSP, you're limited to that ceiling price of $35,000. So was great and all. They let you combine them, that's great. So again, a couple is buying, now you've got $70,000 of purchasing power. But of course, as we are on the West Coast here in Vancouver, things are a little more expensive. Toronto as well, and those bigger cities. In the smaller cities, again, these numbers might make a big difference. 35,000, everything helps, of course, don't get me wrong, but 35,000 isn't changing much. And it's definitely not an oversized incentive to assist you. However, with this plan, the first place my mind goes is, again, speaking to those parents out there with young adults, filling that account, getting that account invested into, and now this is not financial advice, naturally. Everyone's got their comfort levels of investing or gambling. So my suggestion would be filling the account, get that invested into kind of tried and true, again, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but any kind of higher tier dividend producing funds. You can invest in everything you can invest in your RRSP or your TFSA. So any open market funds, ETFs, and all that sort of stuff, stocks, all the regulars, get it in there. And the benefit of this account is you are maxed at your contribution. You are not maxed at how much you can pull out. So you put this money in there and it grows. We can look at any averages we want, 8% a year on the market, and or adding dividend return into that, compounding through. So what this does is essentially within 5 years gives you a $40,000 foundation to develop and grow. Most 23-year-olds are not buying real estate, but what they can do is chip away at this and build it directly by putting the money in, and then have the market grow that and develop that fund. So it's definitely worth, we'll say, again, outside of any ups and downs, which we're obviously have experienced in late as well, any growth, that organic growth that fund can gain over the years. Let's wait 5 years till it's filled, then let's wait another 5 years. So we're 28, still pretty young. Another 5 years, 32.
Wait a minute.
37.
Wait a minute.
all this stuff. You can see where I'm going with this. So depending what you have invested in, does that $40,000 turn into 60, 80, 100, depending how long you can wait? So you have 15 years basically to develop that. So if your parents do it for you or you're diligent, you've got till you're 33 till you need to drain the account. If you just drain it back into cash, you can roll it over into your RRSPs. You drain it back into cash, of course, you will have to pay tax on it. But let's say it develops into, let's say in 15 years you can double it, which I think is pretty conservative. Now you've got an $80,000 lump sum here that you can use towards that first purchase. So I think it is dramatically better than what we've had to this point. This plan, although on the Canada website there was no set date, they've just said in 2023. So we're rolling with it now. You can have your first contribution year this year. And I think this is, I'd say this is the best thing that they've come up with so far to assist people directly. We've not really had a lot of beneficial, I mean, people use these first-time buyer plans and all that sort of stuff, but again, in the markets that we're dealing with here, and you're really, depending how far out of Vancouver you can go, I mean, yeah, you can get $350, $450, say $500,000 entry-level product. But if you're closer in here, $35,000 for your RRSP here, your property transfer tax benefits under $475. They're not that beneficial here because they just don't reach far enough because the pricing is so high. So this is something that I think if we can get under it quickly, i.e. start this year and start developing that plan directly, getting that money in, you can additionally not just add dollar for dollar like the $35,000 that you put into RRSP and you pull out, you've got the flexibility here to pull out dramatically more as much as you can actually grow it. I don't say go in there and put it all on Tesla puts and try and quadruple and 100 extra money. If you're comfortable with that, obviously you've got the flexibility to do that, which is nice. I don't actually know the mechanics if you can buy puts and calls and all that sort of stuff now that I mention that, but you know what I mean. You can be as dramatic and risky as you want with this or as conservative as you want. But what you need to do is start it, get it in, grow that money. Specifically, if you've got kids, start it for them because it's an account that will grow and you can utilize the maximum compounded power of the end result of what you can turn that into at the end of the day. So that in itself is, I think, enough to warrant a full video on. So we're going to keep it relatively short today. If you've got any questions on this or thoughts on this, we'd love to see the comments below. I'm really happy the government has done this. I don't speak highly of them often, but I do think this is something that is beneficial, that can actually be worked on and played with and built up over the years, that can really assist first-time buyers get into this crazy market. So I salute our feds begrudgingly for this, and I will give them credit for this. On that note, that's it. Again, love to hear your comments below and see what you think, and congrats for this new opportunity that you have in front of you, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.